Thank you for taking your time out of the afternoon for an important update on the body we discovered in the Genesee River. As you know, we put out a press release about 2 days ago for a body that we found in the Genesee River in the town of Rush, New York. That body has been identified as Penny Busch, who is identified as a missing person investigation that we've been doing here at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office for a bit of time now. Upon discovery of her body, the investigation took several new leads. We want to update you on this case, but we want to start out, of course, with condolences to the family members of Miss Busch and to the community. And with that being said, before we even start, I'm going to have Deputy Hurley do the introduction so you know who's up here if you have any follow-up questions on this press conference.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Like the sheriff said, we just want to do a quick update on our investigation into the body found in the river. I am Public Information Officer Deputy Brendan Hurley, and we're joined by Investigator Sergeant Dave Bolton, Captain of our Investigations Division Tom Rowe, Major of Operations Jeff Wagner, Mayor of Honeywell Falls Rick Milner, Chief Deputy Michael Fowler, and obviously Sheriff Todd Baxter. So he's going to update you. If you have any questions, we'll do our best to answer those. Just remember that this is still an ongoing investigation, so there's not a lot that we can get into, but you can also grab me afterwards, and we'll answer any questions we can for one-offs. Sheriff?
Thank you, Deputy Hurley. Again, our condolences to the Penny Busch. As you may know from prior information released, on October 11th, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office responded for a check to welfare on Miss Penny Busch, 62 years old. And that was a simple routine call, a call we go to quite often, just check the welfare. I haven't had contact with a family member for a while. The tenacity and the follow-through of the initial responding deputies and their immediate supervisors were utterly incredible. They found a few things that were odd, out of the ordinary. The adult didn't answer the door, but that's not abnormal. And they simply didn't report and moved on. Instead, their tenacity continued on to the point they found this to be a suspicious condition and called in the assistance of our criminal investigations section. They extended their search not only to the home of Miss Busch, but the 8 acres of property that she resides on. That included drone searches, canine searches, and help from local fire departments. And for the next 3 days, they continued their investigation, developing leads on information on where she may be. That included electronic leads, video leads, and just good old-fashioned police work with talking to people. On October 14th, information was developed leading us to search the Genesee River in the town of Rush. A body was located and turned over to the medical examiner's office, who started their investigation. This was a great recovery by their scuba team, the sheriff's scuba team, and the Henrietta Fire Department. It wasn't an easy recovery of the body. The investigators continued to search for more evidence. And on October 18th, the victim was positively identified as Penny Busch. And within hours, we developed the information we were looking for from the first few days till today. And we were able to make the apprehension of Penny's sister, Jamie Busch, who's now in custody for the murder of Penny. Jamie Busch is 53 years old from Honeywell Falls, and she's been charged with murder in the 2nd degree and tampering of physical evidence, 2 counts. We appreciate the assistance of the Monroe County Fire Bureau Special Operations Unit, the Henrietta Fire Department, the Village Honeywell Falls Fire Department, and the New York State Police Canine Unit. We also acknowledge our Monroe County Sheriff's Office Crime Victims Unit that's been working with the family through this very difficult time. As Deputy Hurley said, this is still an ongoing investigation. We're working hand in glove with the District Attorney's Office, and we want to make sure they have a proper prosecution. So, as you know, in these cases, we're going to be very limited on method of operation, motives, and things like that, which I know the public always wants to know, and you guys inquire about. But please have that respect that we're trying to get a good investigation into a good prosecution. So with that being said, I'll take a few questions if you have them, or if you got more technical questions, the Investigator Sergeant Bolton is available. Yeah, again, the method of operation and the motive is something that we're going to keep close to our chest until the district attorney is ready to release that information. But she was murdered.
There were rumors around Honeywell Falls, as you probably wrote in the last few days, about a business or perhaps a legal business that 2 ran together. Do you think that's anything? Is that something you're looking into?
Yeah, we have no information that we're going to share with that on that right now, right? I have nothing on Miss Busch, the victim, being involved in a criminal activity.
Has Jamie been arraigned?
I don't think she's been arraigned yet. Investigator Sergeant?
Yes.
She has been arraigned, I'm sorry.
She's been arraigned in the town court earlier, so
And remanded in Monroe County Jail?
remanded to Monroe County.
Thank you.
Anybody else, any other people of interest that you're looking for?
Not at this time, but, you know, the investigation's wide open. We'll go where the evidence leads us.
Any danger to the community or anything?
No, we believe this is an isolated, incident between family members. Again, we never say we're definitive on that until we get all our information in. Making an arrest is new information that we need to play off of. And that's just an obvious, next step, how we play off these things. Again, lots of information needs to be gathered, including, more statements possibly taken from other people. So the idea is the investigation is still wide open. We had probable cause. We thought it was the appropriate time to make an arrest and bring some closure for the family so they could start healing. And it was the next investigative step we had to do. So just one more step in the continuing investigation.
Sure. Can you help our audience understand what brought you to the river?
Yeah, so
Investigators to the river?
yeah, first of all, I want to emphasize the tenacity of the responding deputies. Again, this is not an unusual call. Go check the welfare of my family member, someone come from possibly out of state, and they haven't heard from them. It was a routine call, even on their initial response, until they started looking around the house and found things that was just out of the ordinary. And again, I'm going to keep that close to the chest, if you don't mind, Burke. But with that being said, that led to information enough to say, you know what, something's odd enough. Let's call our criminal investigators. And they started working for days and days. And they found evidence that led us to believe that the river may be a place that we want to search for her. We've done all the physical searching we could of her property and other locations. And again, if you don't mind, I'll keep that close to the chest for obvious reasons. But they gathered, through tenacious investigations, they gathered information that led us to the Genesee River. Information they had to go get.
Family, children, anything like that?
I'll let the investigator sergeant talk about her family just a bit more. This is an interfamily thing, so we want to make sure we're being very cautious with the family and showing due respect for them. This is a very difficult time, if you can imagine, when inside a family right now, in a small community in particular like this. And our hearts go out to them, and our hearts go out to the family members too. But I don't know, investigator sergeant, you want to say anything about the family or as far as siblings?
So I can tell you that Penny had two sisters, and she had two children. All those people have been notified at this point and are aware of what's going on. So that's the family dynamic.
As far as role in the community, sometimes you hear that they were either leaders or well-known or anything like that.
So they're not really native to that community. Penny, the victim had grown up in the Schenectady area. That's where their family's from. She'd spent a bit of time in Texas, and then recently, within I'd say the last year and a half, is when she ended up here in Honeoye Falls.
But, you don't have to deal with this kind of situation very often, if at all. And now they're your residents.
Right.
And so, what do you say to them now?
Well, first of all, I say, kudos and thank you to the Monroe County Sheriff's Department and their whole team. As the sheriff has said, the tenacity and the speed at which they've moved has been incredible. And I was allowed, if you will, to kind of hang around on Saturday as they were going through all this. And I actually had some thoughts, too, about where we might want to look as well, based on what they were doing. But people have been asking, are we safe? And we felt confident enough for what I was told that the general public was safe. And, especially today, everyone wants answers quick. And I had to say the same thing that's already been said here. It's an ongoing investigation. It's a very intense investigation, and we have to let the officers do their jobs, and they did that very quickly. So, I think people were very concerned about safety. They're seeing the drones, they're seeing the canine, they're seeing all the vehicles in the staging area, and that raised a lot of flags for people, obviously. But I think everyone's been pretty respectful and understanding, and we had very limited posts on our page We just said, listen, we're working to help get you information, but there's a process, and we're following the sheriff's department lead, and it worked out well.
That's going to conclude it. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.